Hey, welcome back to Forsaken Steel. I'm David. This is my 86 IROC I've been working on forever. I'm just going to go ahead and be straight with you. Today is Wednesday. I've got 4 total days to work on this car before I'm supposed to leave for power tour. So Wednesday is today. We're going to get this thing finished up and road test it today. Tomorrow I will be without the car all day because it's supposed to be at the tent shop. I'm trying the tent shop and the guy that's going to do the AC, which is at my brother's shop, they're side by side, so I'm hoping I can get both those knocked out tomorrow. That would give us Friday and Saturday, assuming the car's got any little issues, we can fix it. And then that Sunday we'll leave for power tour, and then Route 66, and then all that. So no matter what, this trip's going to happen, whether it's in this car or a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I don't even care at this point. I'm taking this trip. It's going to be an adventure no matter what. It's 5,500 miles. I really want to take this car. I mean, like, really want to take this car, but whatever. I'm being realistic. We don't know yet. So I'm going to get after it and get to work. I don't have time to talk to y'all very long today. And I do apologize for how choppy everything's been and my poor editing. I just don't have the time to sit down and actually edit. My last video was almost an hour and a half long. Man, some of y'all actually watched to the end, and I'm absolutely shocked. I don't like to do a video that long, but that video started out at like 2.5 hours long. So just think about how much I cut out of it. But anyways, I'm going to get to work, and I'll show you. I'm just going to do a couple of little things, and hopefully we can get this thing started, get it outside, get some water in it, and see if the system's flowing and see how it does. So let me get to work. Before I put the heater hose on, I decided I should go ahead and finish up the AC stuff just to make sure everything was going to work. I didn't want to cut this heater hose and it be short again. That other one would have never worked. I would have definitely had to replace it no matter what because of the route I took. But this is a classic auto air system for this car, and it's for the 88 to 92 model. And I have to say, it is fantastic. It is not cheap. No AC stuff is cheap, though, so just keep that in mind. But, man, is it nice. So the kit I bought came with the compressor, the brackets to hook up the compressor, both the lines, accumulator, the 134 conversion things or whatever they're called, this switch here, which I think is a high-pressure switch, that did not come with a low-pressure switch. I actually am running the old one. And I had to, since I switched it, I was switching everything over, I had to get a 88 to 92 hard line. Oh, and it also comes with the orifice tube. But I had to put everything is from 88 to 92. That's what you need to know. Including you have to have the brackets for that too. So I got all this hooked up. I'm going to give it a once over, just to make sure I ain't missing anything. The only thing left for the AC system to hook up is the wire. I don't know how to do that yet. I'll have to read about it. I'm sure it tells us. So, but I'm going to put the battery in it here in a minute, see if I can fire it up, get it outside, get some water in it, see if this thing leaks, see if the thermostat will open and do all the stuff it's supposed to do. Whew. All right, so we'll just see how it goes. I think it's going to be all right, I hope. But I really do love how tucked away this AC system is. Yeah, so much nicer. All right. I think y'all can just barely see the temp gauge. It's like 190. It's been sitting here idling for quite a while. It's actually not terribly that idling. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it ain't too bad. So I'm going to take it down to the end of the street and back. Let's just see how it does. It's been its first voyage out since we did all the work. It's definitely smoking some. have you all on a camera tripod thing in the car. If it falls, I'm sorry, but we'll see. Died. We'll coast down the hill. Hope it starts back. Let's just stop it right here. See if she'll start back. Take her on down. Check engine light finally came back on. Doing pretty good. Still, it's like sputtering when you're trying to get in it. I don't know. Actually sounds okay, better at idle though. We're not overheating. We're like 190. I don't know if the fans are on though. Let's pull in the house here. Lower y'all down just a little bit so you can see that temp gauge too. Sorry if y'all are wobbling around a bunch. Hang on, I'm gonna pull you off that stand. As the car idles, it just seems like it's moving everything around, but see, and now it wants to die again. I mean, it was doing good, idling fine. See how erratic that is? I mean, my foot's not on the gas at all. Temp seems to be doing great though. Let's pop the hood, see if the fans are running. I couldn't hear them over the car if I wanted to. like it's trying to backfire a little bit right then. She's gonna die. Well, I'm gonna cut it off and pull that code. Look, and then, wow, that's erratic. I'm gonna turn it off, we'll pull that code. I just turned the car on to pull the codes and the cooling fans kicked on. Oh, good old cold code 33. Happy to have that one back. Well, 33 is our only code, so we're back to that. So I took the aftermarket mass airflow sensor I got off of it and put the factory one back on. I don't know. I'm just chasing it. I have no idea. But I thought we'd try it. What the heck? It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Let's see if we can get her to start back up here. Nothing. Maybe this mass airflow sensor is bad. Hell, I don't know. Let me go check, make sure I plugged it in. I'll be right back. It's definitely plugged in. Try it one more time. I'm gonna put the old one, the new one back on it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I still don't know why the code was thrown the last time, but this one clearly doesn't work. All right, I just thought of something that's kind of interesting. It's kind of weird, and I'm going to try to do a little research on it. These fans always cut on or turn on when I put the jumper wire in to pull the codes. When I pull that out, they'll go off. Watch this. I don't know if you can hear them, but that's weird to me, and I think that's an issue. I'm going to chase that for a few minutes and see if that could be related to other issues. Okay, just to check it out, I put the new mass airflow sensor back on it. Let's just see if it'll start. Nope, no change. Here's your update. Before I went to lunch, before I ate lunch, I just went upstairs and made myself something to eat. And before I did that, I posted on Facebook on a few of the groups I'm in that I was having problems with the cooling fans kicking on and blah, blah, blah. And I had a guy reach out to me that says he programs chips for these cars, and he said he'd done over 6,000 in total. I'll give you his name later. I don't remember it. Anyways, he is very reasonably priced. He says he can make the math stuff go away. And he said one of the problems it has is once it sets that, and he's right about this, once it sets the code is when it starts running so poorly. When the code's not set, it actually runs really well. He said he can make it to where it just won't throw that code. And he said it'll just run good all the time. It doesn't affect it. He said it'll do really well. So we're going to give it a shot. Top of the morning to you. So we were supposed to be at the tent shop this morning. Not so much. So let me catch you up on what happened. So the car didn't want to start to come back inside. I got it in, but it was running terribly. I cut it back off. I did just a couple little minor things, nothing crazy. I decided I wanted to move the car. It wouldn't start. and then it wouldn't start, and then it wouldn't start. I spent quite a bit of time with it just not starting. So, I had that guy that's going to make a prom for the ECM because I think it might be bad. I really think the computer itself is probably bad as well because that's two different things. So I ordered a computer for it. So here's the deal. Here's my train of thought. We've pretty much replaced all the sensors. I've inspected almost every square inch of the wiring harness. It seems fine. So these things always, even back in the day, they always were known for having computer problems. About 100,000 miles, man, that's pretty much what you're going to get. So I ordered that computer. We have the new prom for it. We've got 3 days. If it all comes in, we can slap it together. And I'm not afraid to try it. I'll just go. I've driven junk all my life, even when I didn't have to, because it's just who I am. I'm not afraid to be broke down. Some people are afraid to be broke down on the side of the road. I'm just not. I don't know. I guess it goes back to when I was young and poor, and I'm still poor, but back when I was young and really poor, I always just drove whatever I could afford to fix. And it was a lot of Camaros because I had parts for them, and I kept parts for them, and I don't know, just never was afraid to be broke down. So here's my plan. Once again, we're going to pretend like everything is fine. And then we're going to actually do some things that need to be done before this car would go on the trip. Such as put the new windshield wiper motor on, because the wipers on this thing barely work at all. There's a real good chance we'll encounter rain somewhere. And then the other thing is I bought new headlights for it, but I bought a modern style headlight for it, so it's not just changed a bulb. I'd like to get that done. I have a new steering wheel for it. I'd like to get that on. And just, there's other things too. The wheels, I was going to actually roll the fender lips, and I probably still will, but I currently have a 1-inch spacer on the back, and I'm going to take that off, and I have a 1/2-inch spacer that I'm going to replace it with to tuck them in just a little bit. And but I got to put wheel studs in to do that, so that's really not a big deal, but it has to be done. And then I think I'm going to take the 1-inch spacers from the back and try them on the front and see how it all looks. And if it looks okay, I may leave that if everything clears. That will help us with our clearance issues with all the tires, and I just don't want them to rub. I want to be able to drive this car and not worry about it. As far as the AC goes, I'm down to just the clutch wire is the only thing that's left to hook up. I'm pretty sure I can figure that out and get that done. It's not been under vacuum, so I don't know if it leaks or not. But what we might do, I don't know. But we may end up on the trip somewhere stopping and having someone charge this AC system, or not have AC, or convince my brother to come in on Saturday evening and do it. Yeah, I don't know. So, but nonetheless, we're just the car runs just fine. That's where we're going to pretend, and we're just going to move on. And then when the computer and stuff, if all of that comes in time, which it's supposed to, but if it does, and it all gets here like it's supposed to, we'll put it in, fire this thing up, and go for a good little test drive Saturday. And if it's all fine, I will throw my junk in it Sunday morning, and we'll head out. Or I'll throw my junk in a Grand Cherokee and head out. Either way, But I feel like I don't give up easy. I'm really kind of stubborn about certain things, and this is one of them. Because I feel like the car is so good. Like, the motor sounds great. When I drove it, the transmission was fine. All the suspension is fine. It's mostly new. Brakes are fine. That's fine. So this is an engine management issue, and if we can get that solved, I think this car is good for 5,500 miles, no problem. So I'm going to get to work. It's kind of still going to be like what I've been doing. I'll just do it and update y'all. Otherwise, this video is going to be 9 hours long, and I don't have time to edit that anyway. So I'm going to get back to work, and I'll show you what I do as I do it. So yesterday I noticed this wire right here that goes to the starter. If I hit it just the right way, it would quit working. There's a really loose spot right here. I have a feeling it's just pinched nearly in half right there. I'm actually going to cut it right here and just see what that wire looks like. But let's cut it just right before that pinch. I have a feeling that it's just broken almost completely in half. And certain ways it laid, it did fine, but yep, look at that. I just pulled that completely in two with my hand. So I'm going to repair this and put it back on. Wow, that broke again. I may repair this further back. Because that's a fusible link. I have a fusible link, a new one that I can put in here. I don't know what gauge or what amp that is, but anything would be better than it breaking. So, and also I noticed this when I just took it off right now. It's got a bare spot. That's a good way to short stuff out. But anyways, I'm going to repair that and put it back together. I got it soldered together, fusible link. But the ring terminals that came with it are way too small. So I'll have to buy a ring terminal. I'm just going to leave that right there for now, though. All right, so I got that ring terminal on. I got all that wired back in. I hooked up the battery, and that works. What that wire went to was the main body, and it controlled. Here's what I would notice is the dome light would come on and off, and the radio would quit working on the inside. So it's like accessory stuff, but all that's working now, and it's not loose or anything, so that's cool. I went ahead and pulled out the wiper motor. I had a wiper motor for it, but guess what? It was the wrong one. So I have one on order. It'll be here first thing in the morning. That's fine. I'm going to leave it out. The next thing I'm going to do is switch over to working on these headlights. Let's see if we can get them switched out to the new ones I have and see what that looks like. I'm running out of things I would have to do before I left, and it soon will be, other than it running, of course, but soon it'll be things you just want to do before you leave. So, but these headlights are half blown and they don't work, and actually the high beam switch in there is not hooked up on the column. It's bolted in, but the rod's messed up at the top, so we'll have to fix that next. But let's see if we can get the new headlights in, see if we can get all that to work. So these are the headlights I chose. I really like these things. Some of y'all may not, and that's fine. I don't care. I got the RGB version that you can actually control the color of the halo from your phone. I don't really know why I bought that. I just wanted it, so I did. But anyways, I'll have to do a little wiring. I do believe in all this, but I'm going to kind of dig into it, and I'll show you what I've done once I've done it, because I don't know what I'm doing yet. Y'all are going to be shocked to hear this, but I think this car has a wiring issue. So I have the... Man, it's just one thing after another. It's what you get when you buy an old car. This side, the low beam light's on. Over here, we got nothing. You turn it on high, both these come on. But one of them comes on, all of them, which is, this one comes on for all of them, which I'm pretty sure is only supposed to be low beam. And this one, I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it, so I'm telling you. But I know that it's wrong. Here, I'm gonna get in there and turn it on high. I'll show you what it looks like with that. Okay, so here's high beam. I'm pretty sure the high beam bulb on that side's just blown. But you get all of that bulb, and the center of that bulb is kind of sort of lit up. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's right. I do know that. So, I'm going to pull the other side out and stick them in, just see what it does, just for the heck of it. This is supposed to be a plug-and-play endeavor according to the instructions, but I have my doubts. Okay, it's on high, and the inner two high beams are on, which is fine. I'm going to turn it on low and just see what it does. It ain't liking it none, but I have the charger on. And as it's going, it's actually killing them. But I'm going to turn them off, let the charger do its deal for a little while. We'll get back to it. Well, next on the agenda, I'm going to take this steering wheel off and put another one on it. This one's actually in terrible, terrible condition. And it's disgusting. Nonetheless, just put that back on it. I'm going to pull the wheel, and we'll fix that rod that goes down to the headlight control too, because I'm sure it's just off in there. So I had to buy a lock plate tool to push the lock plate in. It is really tough to get into one of these without this. I've done it, and it can be done, but man, for like $15, it's a good little investment. I used to have one. I don't know what happened to it. I think somebody borrowed it. We all know how that goes. So anyways, I'm going to pull the wheel off and get to this and see what it does. So I got her tore down to the point that you can see down in here. And let's try to see if I get a shot of that rod. So a little rod down in there. I actually think I see it right there. It's kind of hard to tell. But I know it's in there because it's on the other end. So, but anyways, but this car is missing. There's a piece that goes in here that when you do this, that pushes down on. I have another column. Actually, I have two other columns. I guess I'll tear one down and take that out. And I'm sure that, I know this car had an ignition switch put in it when I got it. And I'm sure that they just didn't put that piece back in, I guess. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. You actually don't have to tear the column all the way down to that point, but you have to take this bolt, and that bolt out to take this collar loose to get that in and out. So that's the only way I know to get it in and out. So I'm going to go ahead and tear another column down, get that piece out, and see if we can get this one reassembled. So I bought this one in a junkyard, and I about got it tore down too. But you can see somebody's already been in it before. They put it's like a self-tapper down in there. I don't know. But anyways, I'll take it apart, and I do believe the part I need's in there. I can see it. So I'm going to keep going, and we'll see if we can get mine back together. Well, this is what that piece looks like, and it goes right down in there. And I got this one out just fine. I'm going to see if I can slide this one back in right quick. I'll have to go get my children here in just a few minutes. We'll see how it goes. But I'm glad I bought that other steering column just so I had this on hand. Got that little piece in there. Now that's working. We got high beam, low beam. There you go. Now just put the rest of that back together and we can put the steering wheel back on this thing. I ordered a Forever Sharp steering wheel. It's a half wrap aluminum wheel. I really like the way it looks. Also got one of their adapters. And of course it came with a horn button. My first horn button had a nick in the edge of it. And I contacted them and they had me another one out in like 2 days. I also bought a factory emblem for the horn button for this car. And I was going to put it on. And I probably will in the future. But we ain't got time for all that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get all this together and on the car. Well, there you have it. I really, really like this wheel. I actually have had this wheel before on my 62 Catalina when I built it. I sold it. Actually, I shipped it off today 6 years ago. So, yeah, I'm really happy with it. But I want to show you something else that I really like. It's just a tad bit smaller. I don't know if you can really tell. Yeah. Than the original wheel. It's just a little easier to handle in the curves and stuff. And that to me is everything. So, I do like a full wrapped wheel better. This is what's called a half wrap, where it just goes to right here, and then the back side's aluminum. But they feel good in your hand, but they tend to get really hot when they bake in the sun for any length of time. As dumb as they look, I may end up putting a window visor thing, I don't know what you call them, in this car when it's parked outside for any real length of time, and I'm going to get back in it because I know how hot that gets. My last one was polished, and this one's black. It's probably going to be even worse. And it would get to where you had to drive basically like this. You couldn't put your hand all around the wheel until the car cooled down. So anyways, I'm super pumped about it. The horn does not work. The horn didn't work before. The relay's not even clicking. I have a feeling that the relay's probably shot, and I have almost no cares about that right now. So I'm going to try to work with those headlights just a little bit and see if I can get them figured out. But man, I really am happy with this thing. It's going to look great, especially when I get that Camaro emblem right there. One of the things I do not like about this wheel, though, is I'm not crazy about the polished or stainless hardware. I will either buy a set of black anodized hardware, or I'll paint this or whatever. I mean, don't have to. That's not a now thing, but that's definitely something I'm going to do because I'm just not a fan of it at all. And the back side where the front bolts on is the same way, and I don't know, it just kind of stands out to me, and I'm not a fan of it. But anyways, but I do love the wheel. Just a couple of nitpicky sort of things. If I were them, I would send out black anodized or make that an option at least. But anyways, I'm going to get onto the headlights for a little bit. It's almost dinner time. And then that'll be it. Probably tomorrow I'll have to work on that. I've got to go get that wiper motor stuff in the morning too. This car is almost to the point where the most of the major stuff that had to happen's done. I will have to do those wheel studs in the back and change that stuff around, and roll the lips, but that's really not that big a deal. So anyways, I'm going to get back to work, and you never know, we might still get to take this ride. I hope so. Well, one of the fog lights worked. I actually have bulbs for it too. So the low beams don't work. I changed the dimmer switch just to see if that was it. That didn't make any difference. It has a new headlight switch in it now. I have to think that maybe the low beams are possibly not getting a ground. So I'm going to do a little digging and see if I can get a ground for them if they work. So I just pulled the headlight switch on, and see those taillights flashing or flickering? I checked for a ground up front and it had one, so that's usually a ground issue. I don't know. So I had an auxiliary ground ran up front, and when I took it off, that quit all that craziness. That's weird. I'm going to keep on looking at it and seeing what's up. Good morning yet again. It's Friday, so we got today, tomorrow, maybe an hour or two Sunday morning. I stopped this morning and got the windshield wiper motor, and I picked up a pump for it. I really like a car to have a windshield washer. It's one of those things that you don't miss it till you don't have it, and then it's like, crap, I wish I could wash this windshield off at 75 miles an hour going down the highway. So I'm going to put that together and on right quick, and then I have to go pick up my Plan B and get it to the house. And yeah, we'll see what we get done this morning. I always have stuff to do that's not this car. It's just my life. I can't get away from it. It's just how it is. So we'll see how today goes. I'm really ticking away on the stuff that had to be done other than it running. And we'll just keep working. We'll see how it goes. Here, my thing is, when I come back, even if it's still not running good, I want that to be the only thing I got to worry about. It's just, all right, we got to get it running good. Then we get it running good. I can take it out and drive it and enjoy this car some, no matter what. So I'm going to get to work and put this windshield washer and all this junk together and on the car. I'll show you what that looks like. Just stock. It ain't nothing special. This should go together easy. All right, I got the windshield washer in, got the pump in it. The screen's back on. It'd be good if I pushed it all down. There we go. I got the other arm back on it. I ran a new piece of tubing, and I got this hooked up. This thing's actually had fluid in it since I bought it. So I don't know if it's 15-year-old fluid, but I'm betting it probably is. I'm going to put a little spray away on the windshield so the windshield's just not dry, and we'll test this thing out. All right, so keys on. See if it works. Not looking good. Oh, there we go. I got the same problem as the last one did. There we go. Doing better than the last one. The last one wouldn't. Yeah, the last one you had to physically pull it to move it, so. That's better than before. Let's see if the washer works. I don't hear it or see anything, so that may need some work. We'll see. Nonetheless, we got wipers. That's major improvement. So here's a look at how far these tires stick out past the body. It's about just over a 1/4 inch. I have a 1-inch spacer in there now that I had to run. Let's see that. I had to run a 1-inch spacer. So the actual wheel itself could fit because the bore size is like 70 millimeters. And the bore size, I think, on the rear end is 72 or 4, I don't know. Anyways, it don't fit without a spacer. I did order a set of 1/2-inch spacers, and I'm going to put those on, which means I got to pull the wheel off, the spacer off, the rear caliper off, slide the rotor out, and put the studs in, new studs in that are longer because these, as you can see, the actual spacer bolts on, but the other one is just a true spacer. And the wheel studs just go through it. So I'm going to get on that right quick and get it done. And, yeah, I'll move forward. I'll just kind of show you a little bit of that as I go, maybe. I would like to start this portion by saying I in no way mean for this to be an instructional video. But here's what I did. I took a little bit of meat off that so I don't have to drag these axles out of this thing, which I ain't got time for. That ain't going to hurt a thing. We're not into the part that actually bolts it together. It's fine. I'm not saying you should do it, but I'm saying I did. Also, seriously, this is a 10-bolt GM rear end. Its days are numbered no matter what, so they're not the strongest. So eventually, this won't be a problem. But I borrowed this cool tool from my brother before. I didn't get to show it to y'all, but it's meant to pull in studs. And it's just got a bearing. You just slide the stud through, slide that on. Put a lug nut on it. Well, it'll be hard to do with one hand. May get that towards tight, all right? That's not in all the way yet. Let me get a battery for this thing. It's just about dead. I also switched the wheel stud to that style, or the wheel lug nut. And that's it. with a good battery, they just go right in. This is its only use in life, but it does it really well. So I'm going to hit the other 4 right quick and get this wheel back on with a spacer. I'll show you that spacer too when I get to it. All right, so you can see with that on there, I'll be able to clear that lip. And without, we got a lip. So that's all I'm doing is just this has to clear that lip. Well, boom, just like that. So should be fine. I actually think that's backwards. It is. Whatever, it probably really doesn't matter, but that's how it's actually supposed to go. And these things kind of just squish in there, and that's why we put these longer studs in. You can see this thing actually has more threads out than the previous stud would have. It's going to be hard to tell, but anyways, you would have had the other one having to go through this rotor first before it came out, so there's a good deal more thread sticking out, and you couldn't have left the other ones on it. So anyways, I'm going to throw this wheel back on it and get the other side done right quick. I got to take this tool back to my brother. It's Friday. They're still working. They're a working shop, so I don't want to slow anybody down from making their money. And this is what you end up with. A nice wheel that is inside the body. I'm still going to have to roll that lip because it is right on it. But before even rolling the lip wasn't going to help because it rubbed. You can see where it rubbed right there. So that actually fits really well. I'm really happy with it. I'm going to go do the other side right now. Got this side done exactly the same, except it took less time because I'd already done it once and I had all the tools out. All right, I've got to take the this thing back. I actually had to stop while I was doing this to go pick up Plan B. Let me show y'all what Plan B is. That's Plan B. It ain't exciting, but it'll get us there. Actually, I just had a whole bunch of work done to this thing. Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice vehicle. But, you know, it's not what I wanted to take. I wanted to take a hot rod. That's the whole point. But whatever, I'm going, and we have a vehicle no matter what. That's why I'm confident just to keep thrashing on this one. So anyways, I'm going to take this part back, and we'll come back and do some more work. Bought some LED headlights, which will actually work as fog lights in this car as well. I'm going to throw these bulbs in while I'm working on all this, just so they're in there. I currently have the cover off the front of the car here where the air intake goes, and I just have full access, so you just reach right down in there and get this. So that's what I'm going to do right now while I have the access. These things went right in, no problems. They even have a little fan built on the back of them. That's ridiculous, but whatever. Probably needs it, I guess. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. All right, so I want to roll this lip. Got a hammer. Basically, just beat the edge of that lip back to where it's not so sharp. I mean, it's still going to contact it if it gets up that high. Here's the downside. This car has some terrible paint, and it's going to chip. See that right there? I'm going to have to sand that down and put a little something on it because this paint just chipped right off. I'm not terribly concerned, but if you are, maybe this isn't for you. As you can see, we're back on the charger. Last night, I must have left something on, which is totally my fault, whatever. I don't know what I did, but whatever. Something was on. And then, because last night I know for sure it was like 10.5 volts. This morning it had like 3.2. So I've got it on the charger. I checked it a little earlier. It's like 6.5 volts. It's got a ways to go. Anyways, I've got those rear tires all fixed up and all that's done and whatever. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do right now to make my life better. But I'm starting to run out of things that I can just do without electrical power. So I really need to figure out these headlights. But tomorrow, my mill doesn't run here till late in the evening, so I'll have all day to work on this thing again, or most of the day. So, I don't know. It's already like 4 o'clock. I don't know. I may clean the interior out of this car and try to organize some tools, because no matter what vehicle I take, I'm going to take some tools with me, just as a precaution. More for maybe even for other people more than me. I'd always want somebody to stop and help me if they could. And I'd like to do that for other people, even if I'm driving the Jeep. So I think I'm going to clean the interior out of it. That's probably the most logical thing to do. It's a hot mess. So when I was cleaning the car out, I found these headrests. I pulled them while I was at the junkyard last time. They're out of a Cobalt. And I wanted to use these retainers for the seat belts, because the car right now, the seatbelt lays basically across my face. So that should pull it down out of the way. We'll see how it works. I have to drill a new hole in it because the width is different. That's no big deal. So I'm going to try to pull those apart right quick and put one in. I'll show you how it looks once it's all kind of wrapped up. So what holds these things on is just these little push clips. I don't really know what they're called. I do know that that's a long bar to get them down. It takes forever. It's way harder than I expected. I don't have any more, so I can't break them. So I'm going to get this one off and drilled, and I'll kind of show you what all I've got going on. I think it's going to work out really well, though. Well, here you have it. It's about where it ought to lay on my shoulder. Comes down and runs through this just perfect. If I didn't know this wasn't made for this car, it doesn't have those clips on it yet. But I mean, it works out so good. Let me show you what it looks like without this on there. Hang on, I'm gonna undo it. Let you see it. So this is what it's like when it's off. Super comfortable. Kind of wants to lay kind of on your shoulder, jaw area, kind of on your face. It's real good, real good. Anyways. Something else to note, I actually am mounting these upside down and backwards. So the one that's on this side is actually the passenger side. And I found that if you do that, they actually work better. I tried the other way, and it kind of, this is the one for the driver's side. This is, that's how it's actually supposed to mount. And this part rubs the seat, and the upper part up here, it all gets bunched up, and I didn't like it. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and make these permanent. I'll do the other one too. I'll kind of show you what they look like once from the outside of the car without me in it. Well, there you have it. Look at that. Man, it's like they're made for this. They worked really well, I'm sure, in a Cavalier. But a third-gen Camaro with like 6th gen or 5th gen or 9th gen or whatever GTO seats, man, does it work good. When I had them in the other way, like I said, they were actually touching the seat, and I didn't like that. And they just work better this way. I got those retainer clips in. They're in. This worked out great. I'm super happy with that. All right, I got to go get my kids now. Tomorrow's a new day, and we'll do more stuff, I'm sure. Good Saturday morning to you. We're still planning on taking this girl on power tour and all. We'll see how it goes. Still waiting on parts. Some came in last night, but there's still more needed. This morning I'm going to push it outside and actually work on the paint some, just because I want to. We're running out of have-tos, and we're getting down to want-tos, but it's cool out right now, and I won't be able to do this inside later, and it's going to be 90 degrees outside later, and I won't be out there in that. So let me show you what's up for this battery charger here. Hang on. I had that battery charger on charge for all day yesterday, more or less. It made about 2.5 whole volts. And then it just kind of gave up the ghost and stopped working. It's 15 years old. It's been through a whole lot. So went to Rural King this morning and bought this one, which is the best I can tell, the replacement for that one. Same brand and everything. So anyways, I'm going to hook this one up while we're outside working on the paint and let this battery actually charge up, and we'll throw that one to the scrapper. I'm going to get y'all a shot of the side right quick. I'm going to start taking the pinstripe off, and I'm just going to do this a panel at a time. We're going to start with a quarter, pull the pinstripe off, take as much of this primer off, and polish as much as we can. If you remember, in a past episode, I actually polished the back bumper, and it turned out absolutely fantastic. This whole car ain't gonna look that good, but you know, whatever. We'll make it look much better. I got a trash bag to throw over the wheels because I don't want this stripper on my wheels, because this is a paint stripper. It says graffiti remover, but I promise you it'll strip every bit of the paint if you give it enough time. So I'm gonna get after it. As I was stripping this quarter down, trying to get it ready. By the way, it's being a bear. Guess what showed up? The computer. We still don't have the custom prom yet, but I want to put this computer in with the original one and just see if it'll work at all. That would be super awesome. It's still early in the day, so we'd be able to know that it runs and get a good test in today. So anyways, I'm gonna slap this in and see if she'll start. So when I ordered the PCM, I was $5 away from getting a free shipping, and the shipping was going to be $35. So I went all out and I bought a $6 keychain for this car. I have to say, I'm actually kind of impressed at how nice it is for $6. I'm gonna put the keys on it. This is gonna be the keychain for this car. And there we have it, the keys to the car, the keychain, and a spark plug gapper. That can come in handy while you're on a trip, let me tell you. Well, there's my computer and the style that it is. I looked this one up on Summit and it said, yes, it would work for a TPI. And it is wrong, 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 wrong. I don't know. I can't get another computer today, I don't think. Not a new one. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. This might be the end of this, boys. I may push this dude back in and it just be here when we get back. Let me think about it. They put these amazing belt moldings on there. I don't know what the hell they're for, but they're definitely not for this car. I'm going to pull all of them off right quick. Well, I was stripping this, just trying to keep myself busy. It started raining, so I pushed the car back inside. I'm going to buff this right quick. I already buffed the back half of this, and it's so much better. But, I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but that's the paint that it came off the showroom floor with. And, yeah, you know, you can see the original pinstripe line, or I can. See right there? This car would probably had originally had a silver pinstripe to match the rest of the striping. I may actually put that back on the car. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to buff the rest of this out right quick just so it's done and it looks okay. I think I'm going to piddle around with the headlights just a little bit. I'm getting really close to just calling it. Well, I think she looks a lot better. It ain't perfect. And that's just a cutting compound. That's actually not polished or anything. I just think that looks better than that. Just my humble opinion. But yeah, that's all of this we're going to get to do. But if someone just see this out in the public eye, hey, this quarter and that bumper looks great. They'd be like, hey, at least they're working on that car. Man, those new fog lights are no joke. Those things are bright. On them, it's got a ground issue. I've got to figure out what's up with that. I'm going to try to reground it because they just barely working on high. They work fine, so I'm going to deal with it a little bit. I wave the white flag. I surrender. I'm done. It's not finished, but I'm done. So we still had to get the headlights going. Still waiting on that computer chip to get here. It just ain't going to happen. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to put a little time into this Grand Cherokee and get it actually ready. I've still got to do laundry. I got to do all the things that most people do before a trip. You know, a lot of people would take a whole week to get ready, do a little here, a little there. I'm going to cram it all in the last minute. So tomorrow I'll head out on this journey, and I'll start recording then. Hopefully Monday night or afternoon, I don't know, sometime Monday, I'll drop another video, and I'll try to do one every day until the end of Power Tour, and then I'll start the trip on Route 66 from Chicago to LA, and I'll record that, and hopefully, if the Wi-Fi and the hotels are good enough, we'll upload that every other day or so. So make sure you got the notifications turned on. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody. This is definitely a disappointment to me, so as it probably is to some of you all too. But it is what it is. I've been thrashed, and it's not like I ain't been trying. So, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.